I'll give a little bit more time. I just wanted to see actually every time we go and kill it and restart. I don't think we need to do that, but I think there is some reason why Microsoft has done these things. Even you can see that some of the via Microsoft services itself, they are delayed start. And see, these are not started actually. They are automatic. They're supposed to start. It will start, but I think it needs its own time. So you can see that now it is still not started. So actually the service is actually this one, the VPXD service. And you also know that it has a dependency to these services. You see that it is protected storage, workstation service, and then this service is actually, the web service is dependent on this service. Okay, so if virtual sender starts, then only this service can be started. So that's why I'm not attempting to start this service now, because this can start only once this is started. So guys, let's give 2 more minutes. Okay. So, I mean, then let it start. So let me talk about a little bit about this. You can all hear me, right? So Update Manager, I talked yesterday. Update Manager is actually a Windows-based application. It requires a database. We saw that it is taking the database, SQL Express database or SQL Server. Update Manager is running as a service, and you can see that it is already here. It is configured as a service. So this can be installed on any server. It doesn't matter. But at the time of installation, it will ask you. Where is your vCenter, because it is tightly integrated with vCenter to do its job. Now, if you install Update Manager and if you get on to vCenter, you're not going to see anything. There is no tool or anything to manage the vCenter. So basically there is a plugin. Plugin is nothing but a small client-side software that you need to install on every vSphere client. For example, if you are having your own vSphere client, you have to install that plugin. Then only you're going to see the tools for Update Manager. So you have to install that tool actually. So we will see that now. When you start the vCenter, it will automatically detect that plugin and you have to install it. So you need to have administrator rights on your PC or your machine where you're going to install the plugin. So typically it will be on your desktop, but you have to have admin rights. So for example, if in my office, if a normal user try to install the plugin, it may not get installed. It's just like you cannot install vSphere client because you don't have the administrator rights. So anyway, it's not starting. So I'm going to the task manager and let me go and kill this process, the VPXD process, and see I can. This was the same problem we faced that time. It was not allowing to kill it. It's strange, I cannot kill that. Sujan, I don't know. I don't have any public IP. The IP what I have is my DHCP IP, so I'm not using any public IP. So I didn't buy any public IP. Typically Comcast and all, once you get an IP, it will stay there for a long time. There is also called as a site called Dynamic DNS. I think it's called as DYN DNS. You can use that. So even if the IP changes, it automatically resolves it. So maybe you may want to check that also. All right. So we have this virtual center started. And also the update manager is running. So what I'm going to show you now is once we connect, we will look at the update manager and see how we can patch and do the things. Okay, so we have our vCenter up and running. If you go to the home directory, you can see that these are the things. There is nothing new. There is no update manager here. What you have to do is you have to go to the plugins tab here on the top. If you go to the plugins and manage plugins, you can see there are some other plugins. These are some of the default plugins. Some of them are not, this is the hardware status and all. But you can see that available plugins list. You can see that VMware Update Manager plugin is available because vCenter know that there is a update manager available and it is showing that. So you click on this one. It's a small installation. It has to be done for every vSphere client. Okay, remember, every vSphere client you have to run this plugin. This is called as the plugin. You don't need to do any configuration, but just click on things. So this is actually the Update Manager client. What we installed yesterday was the Update Manager server piece. So this is something you need to install on every vSphere client you are trying to connect. So to install this, if you are in a company or something and you don't have administrator rights, you cannot install it. That's what I was saying. So if you are connecting from a VM or you're connecting from your desktop or you're anywhere, you have to have the client installed or the plugin installed in order to work on Update Manager. If you don't see the Update Manager plugin here, You have to go to the plugins tab and do what I'm doing. So now you can see that once it is installed, it will move from available plugin to installed plugin. Okay, so we have this installed. So now you can see that this will move from here to up. Okay, you can see that now that is gone up. And now if you close this, and if you refresh this, you can see a new icon coming up here. See that? This is called Solutions and Applications. You can see the Update Manager thing, and you can see that it already connected. It is started downloading. It is looking for patch download. It is going to download all the patches. It would have not done. Now this is something I should have done yesterday itself. I forgot to do that. But this is how it is. It is going to connect and download all the thing. You can see that there are some DRS happening. You see that? Who is migrating? I'm not migrating. You can see that the system is doing. So these are some DRS. Now the load is changing. You know, more VMs people are connecting. You can see that the patch definitions are getting downloaded. Things are all happening here on a vCenter. So whoever is doing any activity is happening, you can see here. So solutions and applications, you can see the update manager. If you're getting onto cloud and you are, there are EMC, if you are using EMC SAN storage, there is a plugin for managing EMC storage right from the vCenter. If you have other application, there are many things. I'm not very familiar with a lot of things, but depending on your needs, you can get a lot of applications and solutions for vCenter. You can install them as plugins and can manage. Update Manager is VMware's own. So if you have SRM, for example, SRM is VMware's another product for site recovery, for disaster recovery. They have a product called Site Recovery Manager, a very popular product, very famous product, little complex, very costly. That's the biggest problem of SRM, very costly product. If you have SRM and you want to manage SRM, you're going to see an icon here for SRM. So these are all plugins. So Update Manager, this is the thing. If you click on the Update Manager thing, you get this thing. You can see that now you are in the Update Manager screen. Okay. Now we have to do certain configurations, certain things on how to work on Update Manager. So first thing I'm going is going to the Configurations tab. Pretty much everything is done. We have the network connectivity. You can see that these are the things, the download settings. These are the sites where it is going to download all the VMware related stuff. If you have old ESX servers, I think this is where ESXi and ESX patches. It is going to download all the required patches from these locations. If you have VMware appliances and all, it will download from here. Again, that's not very important. Here is the thing. If your company is using a proxy server, you may want to mention proxy.ml.com and whatever the authentication and all. If you're using, you have to provide all that information here. The proxy server, the service account to connect to the proxy, and the port number. Very important thing if you are planning to use that. Some companies don't allow the virtual sender or the update manager to go to internet directly because of some security things. In my office, we are doing that. Our vCenter can go directly to internet because it is a special firewall rule. It is only certain ports are open so that that server can go to VMware, these sites, and download the required patches. in a DMC kind of environment, maybe you can download these patches and put it into a shared repository, and you can specify that thing. So you download it from some other source, put the updates here, and then the update manager can pick from there also. So in that case, this is not going to work. Okay, so that is that shared repository means. But typically, people use this option and the proxy server option. Download schedule. This is where you can do that. If you want to edit schedule, you know how often you want the update manager to go and download the patches. Typically, you can set it up in the middle of the night so that it won't affect. There is nothing much. It goes daily or weekly or how you want. You can set it to go and check against that repository. It's a good option to do that every day, because we don't know when it's not like Patch Tuesday like Microsoft. VMware don't have any specific dates where they release patches. They do release patches, but not as often as Microsoft. Once in a while you see that. I think the last patch came out a month ago or something. I'm not sure. We got to look into that. So you can set it up so that whenever a new patch is released, it will download. Doesn't mean that it's going to apply the patch. It will download to the repository so that you can take a look at it. You can see what that patch is. You can read and understand about the patch. That's how I normally know when a new patch is deployed. So you can also do that, and you can actually set some email notification. So it will Deepu at it will send an email to me when a new patch is downloaded. So that is the download schedule. It will look at notification and things like that. So basically that is the thing. Here there is some virtual machine setting. I'll talk about it. What that means is, if you are using Update Manager to patch a VM, which I say it should not be done, it is not recommended. I don't recommend. You use your own company's patch management technologies to patch your VMs. But if you are patching using Update Manager, which you can, what this means is it will take a snapshot of your VM before the patching, and you can say whether to keep that snapshot for so many hours, 18 hours. That will be enough for you to test and make sure. Maybe you can increase it, or it will not delete the snapshot. So these are some options they are given. I don't think there is anything much to do here with respect to patching. So if you are planning to patch your VMs and you want to take a snapshot before the patching, it may be a good idea. It's a good idea to take a snapshot of your VM before you patch, so that even if something goes wrong, you can always revert back. ESX cluster wide changes. This is also we don't need to make much changes here. This is some maintenance mode. Some of the time, when you try to patch the server or put the server, if you have HA and cluster configurations and all there, it may not put the server in maintenance mode. So these things, so some maintenance mode settings. So these are some of the general settings, but if your cluster is complex, probably you may want to come and make some changes here. I don't think there is anything that needs to be changed. We will see when we apply the patches. You can come here and look at it. You can, VM power state, so when you patch the VM, when you patch the ESX server, do you want to change the power state? Changing the power state of a VM is pretty much you're talking about powering off the VM. Suspend virtual machine, power off virtual machines, things like that. So make sure that this is always selected. Otherwise, when you patch it, sometimes it may power off all your VMs. If the patching fails, do you want to retry? That is what this is. It can retry to apply the patches again. Then coming to the cluster-wide setting, Update Manager does not remediate host which the features are enabled. So basically, if you have a cluster where the HA features are enabled, Update Manager does not remediate host on which the features are enabled. So if you have HA enabled, probably you may want to temporarily disable HA on that cluster before you do the remediation. So we will see that sometimes only it will come into picture, but these are all based on some of the settings it is doing. So that is what that settings is. So this is the configuration. There is nothing you have to do basically. It's all predefined, but the only thing probably you may want to do is change the schedule. If you have a proxy server or something, you may want to configure it here. Okay, in our office we are using proxy server to do that. Now coming to the baseline group, so this is where we are trying to show you something. So you can see that it already has downloaded some patches. The patches are defined into two categories, basically critical patches and non-critical patches. These are all ESX patches. VMs and VSS, these are the VMs patches. I mean, we don't use these things. Actually, there are some patches here. VMware tools upgrade, VMware, that's it's not required. This is the patch thing. So these are the main ESX server patches. It says there are 225 critical patches and 182 non-critical patches are there. It doesn't mean that it is all applicable to your server. It sees that in the repository there are so many. How many of them are applicable to your environment? We have to look at it now. So baselines, these are called baselines. So you can create your own custom baselines. In our office and all, we always create our own custom baseline. Nexus 16, but we don't use that. This is
Deeply.
actually, you can see that this is from a Cisco. It's actually a distributed chip from Cisco. They are just providing, but there's no patch.
process of the remediation, it will be like 75%. It comes back. It says that everything is fine. You can see in the update manager that the compliance level is now green. Then it will automatically remove the server from maintenance mode. And that ends the patch process. When that patch process removes the server from maintenance mode, can anybody tell me what happens then? Okay, DRS will again start because now DRS see that there is a host that is free. It will try to rebalance the cluster again. True. So that you can see that some VMs are coming back to that mode. And then after a while it will all be changed. Again, don't think that DRS is there sitting just to make sure that apple to apple all three hosts are running correct level. Okay, this guy is 25, the other one is 26, so let me move one thing to make it 25, 25. No, that's not correct. As I told you, depending on your automation setting, like is it 5-star, is it you are putting it an aggressive setting or a conservative setting, DRS will have its own flexibility, how much it can tolerate. So there may be, you may be seeing in a cluster that some hosts are at 60% utilized and some are at 80% utilized. Don't think that, oh, DRS is not perfect. That's not correct. DRS may think that, okay, why should I demote? So DRS always know that do limited number of demotions, because demotion is not a great thing. It's a great technology, fine, but you are stressing the VM, you are putting the VM into a pressure, it has to go through some sourcing, it has to go through some reverse access changes, migration, a lot of things. So it's also, it's not a good thing that you need to do demotion every 5 minutes. It's not good. So DRS is aware of that, but DRS will only do demotion if it is really required. If you put it in aggressive mode, you can see that DRS is doing more demotion than your conservative. So don't expect your DRS to kick in and make your, if you have 4 servers, don't think that all 4 servers are going to be like 50-50. No. You can see some imbalance there, and that is fine. That imbalance doesn't mean that if DRS see that a VM is struggling because of some resource constraints, that is when it will do. Not that there is some resource utilization difference. It doesn't mean that somebody is going to do that. So that is what is the update manager, guys. Same way we can upgrade, you want to attach, upgrade, let us just assume that, this particular server is a ESX 4.1 server. You can actually come here, attach the baseline, which is the upgrade baseline. And you can see that even that is going to show that you have to scan it. If not now, it is going to scan it and see whether that upgrade is applicable to the server or not. You think this is applicable? Do not think that you say it's compliant. You say, oh, it's 5.1, I already have that. It's compliant. See that? You come back and say, this is ESX 5 will be compliant. It is there now. ESXi image 579973. Your server is also on that level. So it's actually compliant, but I'm just not sure why it is not showing. It should have shown here it is compliant. But for some reason it's not another way. Yeah, that may be some bug or something, but it is supposed to show it is compliant. Now, somebody asked me, okay, so let us say I have a 3-node cluster. All these servers are running ESX 4.1. You want to make it to ESX, I don't know, they are running ESX, okay? They are running ESX 4.1. Now, difference between an ESX and ESXi. ESX has the service console and all. So let me go and get rid of that, and you know the upgrade is ESX i5. What you will do? Let me hear from you. What you guys do? If you want, what is your thought? There are many ways to do that. How do you approach that? So this is the cluster. This is an N+1 cluster, meaning even if you lose one host, the other two hosts can easily handle the load of the entire region without any performance. And what I did, and it's just going to define. So if this is the cluster, there are a couple of options. You can come and put one server in maintenance mode. So all the VMs will be running on 96 and 97. You can upgrade it using the patch baseline. That's fine. It will automatically upgrade it and it will become 5.1. Now remember, in a cluster, in an ESX cluster, you can have a combination of ESX and ESXi servers. There is absolutely no problem with it. Also, in a cluster, you can have ESX server 3.0 up to 5.5, a mix and match of them. You can have that. It will all work, but you may not get some features. That's it. Not highly recommended, but you can definitely have ESX server 4.1 and ESX server 5.1, or ESXi 5.1 and ESX 4.1. You can have it in one cluster. There is absolutely no problem. ESX and ESXi servers can coexist in one cluster. There can be vMotion. You can vMotion from a ESX to patching is, so if anybody wants, I think you can rebuild one of the server in 12.1 and try it, and you can see how it will automatically do it. If it was applicable, as I said, it will have demotion all the VMs, the server is active. But still again, I would strongly recommend you to connect to this update manager, go through the tabs, try to attach some, you can also detach, okay, if you see something here, you can always go here and right click and detach this baseline. Okay, you can detach and attach the baselines, and you can, get familiarized with these processes. When you see it, it looks very easy, but you have to get familiarized with all these tabs and things like that. Very important. Yeah, Arvind, I can give you one server. I think you have one server that is having, you have the password for it, right? Is that 96 that is running vCenter 5? Then don't do that. Is it? Okay, then don't do that. Don't build that. 95, I don't know what is ILO for it. Anybody remember what is ILO for 95? This is 96, so don't do 96. So let's see now. Sri is saying it's 16. Okay, 16 is actually 91, which is fine. If you want, you can build this, the 16, that's fine. So that is 91. 91 has some VMs. What I would recommend is, whoever is building, just demotion these VMs, guys. So you don't need to do that. You can actually put the server in maintenance mode. You do that in maintenance mode, you can see that it is going to demotion all the VMs, but the other VMs are going to go away. Let it go. Right? So you can see that when I put it in maintenance mode, you can see that all these VM demotions are happening. It is moving all the VMs forcibly. If it cannot demotion, it is not, and it will never enter maintenance mode. Right now, I know all these VMs that are powered on can be demotioned. So this demotioning, and once that is done, you can actually rebuild this server with VFX server 4.1 and then try to do that. Okay. Let me change the password for you here. I'll change the password to password. Okay. Yeah, so whoever is doing, I don't know who is doing, but make sure you are doing only 16. Don't do 17. 17 is the server that is running. This is 96. That is the one that is running vCenter. Do that on whoever it is. Okay? So be careful on that. So I'm just logging off. Anytime, whenever you think you can do it. But add there is a thing called update, sorry, host profile. I'm going to look into that in a minute. Very good. Did I close that vCenter? So host profiles, we will be talking about that in next class, not today. But by having host profiles, you can build a base server and you just apply the host profile in a minute. All the settings will be applied to that server. So even if you have 100 type of features with different configurations, if you have all that information in your host profile, you build a server and just apply the profile, it will be all that. That is what this is called as host profile. So we will be looking at this host profile and how to do that. So you can see that what is the host profile. The host profile is the management. So you can attach and apply host profile. You make a profile from one of the good servers and then apply that profile on all the servers. You can apply that to 20 servers or one server and it will all get applied in 2 minutes. So if you have host profiles and all, you don't need actually to create the server. You can always build a new server and apply the profile and it will all come back. We'll talk about that later. So fault tolerance is actually a feature. So you can have your VM like this. You can actually configure fault tolerance, turn on fault tolerance. I'm not going to talk about this if anybody wants to read about it now. Fault tolerance is required. So there are some options. You cannot have VRS. You cannot have SSL on. Things like that. There are some restrictions on that. But let me explain a little bit about what is fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is a new feature which is a very great invention by VMware. I don't know whether Microsoft is having that feature. Probably they may also have it because now everybody has everything. So I have an ESX server here and I have another ESX server. This is a technology VMware is now still in the development stage. They are trying to make the HA more powerful. Right now you know that HA means if a host goes down, what happens to a VM? The VM dies, correct? And then you can restart. That is what HA do. What fault tolerance will do is, you have a VM here, which I will call it as a primary VM. Which is running here. By having fault tolerance, which is again, it requires a VM kernel port group, it requires a gigabit connection, very sure, which is recommended 10 gig connection because it is going to sync it. It will have another VM of the same type, exact same copy, which is called as, lockstep, the CPU lockstep. Anything that is happening here will be happening here also. It will be using the same shared storage. Both the VMs will be using the same shared storage link. But a copy of that will be running here and exact copy will be running here. There is actually, I don't know if it is still available there. I used to, it is like mirroring, right? It is like mirroring. I don't remember if it is there or not, but it used to be for it, guys. There is a video from VMware. They are showing that a guy is playing a movie here. The exact movie is running here on the two VMs, and they are shutting down this guys just by pulling the plug, and the movie continues to run here. Isn't it great? That is a great technology. It is working. It is not. It is even powerful than. It is even 10 times powerful than any clustering technology that is available. Apple to Apple, even for second to second, it is using a technology called VLOC step. VLOC step. It is actually something like a processor step by step. If any changes that key stop happening, it will be sent to both the servers. But what it does is, in a typical environment, you have one more You have to be called fault tolerance on the state, the pin provision list is localized in the system working first. The VRS automation level for the VM will be changed to disabled. See that? Will be disabled the VRS. Not for the whole cluster, it will be changed for that VM. You will not be able to try. The memory reservation of the VM will be changed to the memory size of the VM maintained to the that will do you want to turn on. Let us see what happens. Giving error. The fault tolerance configuration has an issue. The host does not have the capability to support fault tolerance. That is okay. We can fix that. The fault tolerance configuration has an issue. Fault tolerance is not used to have working with removing fault tolerance allowing the system to have a value of it. Okay. So that's the thing. We can look into that. That's not a problem. Let me take this server out of the maintenance mode. Let's see. I never tried since you said we should try this. At least how far we can go. So we go here. Put your networking configuration. Just like vMotion, selecting the same vMotion IP address here. I don't think you can do that both. Click on the vMotion port group. Click on edit button. There is a stop for fault tolerance logging. You have to enable that fault tolerance to this. This is what the complaint. So I enable that. The VM kernel port group is being used for both. It is highly recommended to have separate VM kernel port group for fault tolerance because it potentially have any. It's okay, it's recommending. They are saying don't use the same port group for both. But I'm saying okay. So, no. 91 and 97. This is the two machines we don't try now fault tolerance. Let's see what happens. Tiny, you there? I think you have the question. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Going on. Something all is going on because of vMotion is happening. There's a lot of things happening. This server is very crazy now. What's happening? You can see that now I turned off DRS. It's fading back everything now. The VMs are going down. But this is why the networking is not going on. So refresh problem. This is all vCenter problem. So the vCenter is very slow. This is the 96. Too many activities. You can see that now. Yeah, so here also I'm going to the properties, going to vMotion, ready? I'm going to use the same port group here and I'm enabling the same thing, giving you the same warning. It's not, see these are not, you should have separate mix because, fault tolerance means every milliseconds or every microseconds data has to be going back and forth between the servers because whatever is happening on the primary needs to be replicated there. It's a very fast technology, so you need to have a lot of bandwidth to do that. So that means it is done. Now I'm going to 91 and the DB server is the VM I picked up. I'm going to make that server into fault tolerance. So now let us see what happens. So it's not enabled. Why is that? it, let's see, I don't know, it's been a long time. I think I tried this around 6 years back. So it is turning on that, probably it would have created another VM called 3005, like fault tolerant and some instrument bracket and all that. You do that. Maybe through, I don't know, it will fail or not. But there is a YouTube video, guys. You should watch that. It's an outstanding video. They're showing that how fault tolerant actually works. It's only like 2 minutes left. Raiden is maybe, Raiden, you're ready. I think today Romney is going to change his style. It seems. I hope he will change the style and collapse. We'll see what happens. Okay, so Sujay, can you demo tomorrow? What do you need my demo tomorrow? Yeah, we will be doing actual CTV migrations tomorrow. We will be converting a physical server to a VM. We will be doing that tomorrow. That's what we are installing the converter, and we will do the actual demo. Demo means actual lab we will be doing tomorrow. So I'm going to install the VMware converter here, and we will use the thing tomorrow. This is called as converter standalone. As I said, it's a freeware now. You all can use that, download it on your PC. It was not a free tool earlier. It was part of the vCenter, but now they cached it. Probably they want to encourage people to use this converter to convert whatever possible, maybe Hyper-V VM to vCenter. And that's the same thing Microsoft is also doing. They have a converter. What is that tool called, Randy? In Microsoft, what is the converter tool you guys use? I think SCVM itself has a built-in tool, right? Or you have a separate product. Yeah. Okay, SCVM in itself will allow you to convert. It has that feature built in it. So you can just attach it. And SCVM has a good feature what you can attach to ESX server also. You can manage also. Let's say, you can manage ESX server as it is in the SCVM. So here is the thing. We are installing the vCenter. Sorry, VMware Converter VR. It's a straight installation. I'm doing a local installation here. That's just an ST executable, and then you will get a drive here, and you can use that to install. There's nothing much to do here. Can we convert between Hyper-V, KVM, VMs, etc.? Yes, you can. If they're all VMs, then it is much more easier. There are tools to do that. But here, the difficult part is how to convert a real physical server to a VM. There is a lot of things you need to consider when you're doing a CTV migration. I'll talk about that in a detailed way tomorrow, because there's a lot of work that's happening in that. There's a lot of companies that do consolidations and all. Even today, there's a lot of consolidations happening. Companies that are very late in getting on to the virtualization technology are aggressively moving towards converting their own servers to VM. So if you are joining as a company or a startup, not startup, VMware administrator, I'm sure you're going to come across CTV migration. I have a couple of my students working at in the National Business. I work in Capital One in Dallas. He's doing a lot of CTV migration. He said half of his job is CTV migration. CTV migration, don't take it like there's a lot of things you need to do, a lot of effort, a lot of coordination is required, because you're playing around with real physical servers, and the chance for a mistake is very high at that point. So you want to be very careful when you're doing this CTV migration, especially during a start the meeting. So tomorrow's class, you already have the link. You will have a class at 10:30 to probably you end up